Waves 10 meters high. No land in sight. 4 women alone on the open seas. Maika, Steffi, Katharina, and Timna are taking on the biggest challenge of their lives, crossing the Atlantic Ocean in a rowboat in the Talisker Atlantic Challenge. Maika, a cardiologist by trade, has hardly any rowing experience.
I think it's also a little bit about getting to know myself from a different perspective by doing something crazy.
Like the other women, she lives in Hamburg. Maika's best friend Katharina came up with the idea.
I like having adventures and trying different sporty things. 30 to 60, 70 days on the Atlantic with no support boat, everything on board and doing it all ourselves is kind of a life project.
Mother and daughter duo Steffi and Timna complete the team. They too were looking for something different in life.
For 16 years I made her school lunches. That's not enough of a life, so now I'm doing something else. I'm looking forward to seeing the crazy starry sky because we won't have any lights. I hope we see dolphins and whales. I'd love to swim with dolphins.
First though, they have to train. Several times every week, Steffi and Timna take to their local river, the Alster in Hamburg. Although they both have experience in rowing, they've brought in support from former world champion Christian Dahlke.
Steffi, don't fall asleep. Be as cheeky as you are on land. That's how to push through the last part. Do you know what I mean? Then do it. If you weren't involved in this and didn't know and like them, you'd have to be careful not to be mean about it and say, what on earth are they doing? Complete nonsense.
The group has been training for a year and a half.
That's my second breakfast today. It looks good. Chocolate. Great. We're rowing a marathon today. 42.195 kilometers.
Before this challenge, Katharina and Maika had never been on a rowboat. "5,000 kilometers of ocean await them, with high waves, bad weather and life packed together in a tiny space. Many teams have broken off attempts at a crossing in the past. These 4 women want to become the first all-female German team to make it. Over in southeast England, in the town of Burnham-on-Crouch, Charlie Pitcher makes rowboats fit for the high seas.
Good to see you. God, it's nearly ages. Hi.
The team has invested tens of thousands of euros in his skills. Now they see what their money has bought. It's 8 meters long, weighs a ton, and is designed to be unsinkable. These 5 square meters will be the team's home for weeks.
It's great, our own boat. I've never even had a brand new car before. Always used cars. This is new.
They're the first German women's team. You know, the whole world will be watching when they're racing next year. So very exciting times, and I'm really excited for them.
Their first test is crossing the English Channel.
It's 90 miles to Zeebrugge. That's 30 hours rowing.
I don't know how good you guys are.
It's not just the physical demands that face the team. The Atlantic crossing will be a huge psychological challenge. Rowing on the Alster is simply not the same. A grueling rhythm of 2 hours rowing followed by 2 hours sleeping awaits them. And that's not all.
It's 1:30 in the night. We had to admit that although the storm isn't here yet, the weather is too strong for us. I had to vomit today, and now we're turning back.
The team has failed its first trial. The mood is deflated.
We couldn't overcome the wind and the current, and then Charlie decided we had to turn back.
There's still time before the race gets underway. Charlie gives his advice on what the four women should focus on before then.
They've got to get more power through the oars. You've got to have really good, strong legs and back. Doesn't matter about the arms, and you've got to get your style right, and you must get that long power together, synchro. So there's two of you. You get that power working through the oars to get the boat moving forwards. That's the most important thing for me, is that you've got to work on that.
It's here in La Gomera in the Canary Islands that 35 teams begin the crossing to Antigua in the Caribbean in December 2019. The Atlantic Challenge is the hardest rowing race in the world. The fastest teams will need 1 month, the slowest 2 months. It's the moment of truth for Maika, Steffi, Timna and Katarina. 2 yachts are on hand for emergencies, otherwise the rowers are out on their own.
There are risks, yes, there's risks of bad weather and capsize and injury and illness, but things that actually have the greatest effect on crews are how they get on with each other. That personal dynamic that's a really most important and potentially dangerous thing in many ways.
Their team spirit is tested early on. The wind is unusually strong and the boat can hardly make any headway.
We had pretty high waves and we all got seasick. Timna had it the worst.
Fortunately, Maika is a doctor. With the help of an IV infusion, she gets the situation under control.
For the first 48 hours, I was so seasick I couldn't move. The girls had to row one person down while I was comatose in the middle of the boat. With every little movement, whatever I'd eaten before came back out.
But there are also magical moments, like when they were visited by dolphins in the middle of the ocean.
Merry Christmas!
Today it's been
flat, flat, flat. Und komm langsam
It's
voran.
slow progress. So we thought we'd see how the bottom of our boat looks.
The kitchen consists of a gas cooker. Ready meals are on the menu.
Pasta bolognese. Tasty. Look at my little mouse. The compass always points north, and that's where we'll wait for you. May God protect you on your journey.
Antigua. This is where the team is hoping to arrive soon.
They've faced a number of different weather conditions when they're out there. If you have big, strong seas and big waves behind you, that's really good. But this year they've been from the side, from behind, all mixed up.
Other teams had to deal with even more extreme situations. But nobody was injured.
So there's been a number of times when the boats have been knocked over, but it's just rough and brutal and bruising and tough. And they've had that a lot, and there's a chance that they'll even still see some of that before they manage to arrive.
Another 196 miles.
And then in late January 2020, after more than 40 days, they finally see other human beings again. They've completed the 5,000-kilometer crossing with pure muscle strength.
Arrived here in beautiful Antigua after 42 days and 46 minutes. Team roll home. Hip hip. Hip hip. Hip hip. Thank you.
Breathtaking, indescribably beautiful. I haven't processed it yet. One of the best mornings of my life, if not the best. That was a phenomenal adventure. It's great to be an inspiration and role models for people and give them motivation. We never dreamed that it would all end this way. I'm looking forward to a proper shower and good food. Safe in the harbor, friendship intact, that's important too.
Maike, Steffi, Katharina and Timna have made it. They broke every wave that came their way and bested the ocean.